My name is Mr. Lance. I'm from Pennsylvania. How many of you have ever been to Pennsylvania? Anyone? Really?
Good morning, Mr. Lance.
Excellent, excellent. We have an exciting lesson today. All right, you're on.
Thanks.
All right, guys, we're going to get started here. Let me finish handing out our exploration sheet. We've been talking about extreme weather, right? So we started that yesterday. We've been talking about weather and climate. We did extreme weather. Today we're really going to dive in. So just as a refresher, raise your hand and tell me an example of some extreme weather. Flooding would be an example. Excellent. Blizzards would be another one. So flooding, blizzards, two great ones. Yes. Hurricanes, right? We're pretty familiar with hurricanes. One other big one that I think we talked about earlier. Tornadoes, right? So we're on track. This exploration that we're going to do, and we're going to do it as a whole group, and you have your worksheet. You can work collaboratively, all right, at your tables as we go through it. Okay, but we're going to set different variables, different conditions to try and form a hurricane. Okay, so I need a volunteer to run the laptop for me. Okay, Lisa, come on up. All right, so you guys are going to help her. Excited?
Yeah!
All right. Can I get somebody to read the introduction for us? Bailey.
How do hurricanes form? A hurricane or a tropical cyclone gets its energy from the heat released when warm, moist air from the ocean rises and then when it condenses. This energy fuels the spinning winds we see in storms at certain latitudes. Can you discover what conditions can create a hurricane?
All right, so let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can create a hurricane. What different conditions? So Lisa, you're in charge. All right, go ahead and click continue. So we can change temperature, we can change the latitude, and we can change the movement. All right, so let's work through this. Isolate a variable, let's pick one, try it, and then see what feedback it gives us to create a hurricane. All right, so who wants to give it an initial shot? What do we want to change? Go ahead.
You can change the ocean temperature.
You want to change the temperature. Higher temperature, lower temperature, what are your thoughts?
Higher.
Higher temperature, what do you want to go to? 30. So Lisa, you want to set it to 30? All right, let's give it a shot and see what it does. All right, so this says, it says the storm has fuel, okay, but at this latitude, it's not enough to produce the spin. Okay, so enough fuel, temperature might be okay. So let's close that out. What do we want to change now, all right, given that feedback? Yes?
The latitude.
What do we want to change the latitude to, do you think? Because we're at 3 degrees north. Tell Lisa what you want to do. Movement, we need to keep it over the water. Latitude, we kind of figured out that in that particular, that 20 degrees north was pretty good. And then what about temperature? Higher or lower temperature for hurricanes?
Higher.
Higher is better, right? So the ocean temperature, if it's high, it just fuels that storm. Okay, so we're going to move on next to our reading passages, to our brief constructed response. We have a couple different activities that we're going to break you into teams for. All right, but this is a nice little quick introduction just to get us thinking about, all right, extreme weather when it comes to hurricanes. All right, guys, so we've been talking about extreme weather. This is a really good article. Have you ever heard of Galveston, Texas? I actually went there a few years ago for vacation, and it's pretty amazing. Over 100 years ago, just they had a hurricane that swept through and literally wiped out the town. And this is an article about that. So at the beginning of the 20th century, long before instant satellite weather updates, forecasters had to rely mostly on the telegraph to exchange information. On September 4th, the central office of the U.S. Weather Bureau in Washington, D.C. received messages from ships at sea and weather observers on islands that a tropical storm was moving north through the Caribbean Sea. It's interesting how they sent the information though, right? 100 years ago. A little different than today. Nobody got on their cell phone to say, quickly, get out of there, right? It took a little longer. So on the afternoon of the 6th, the barometer began to fall slowly but steadily.
The hurricane that swept Galveston on the evening of September 8th in 1900s and left 18,000 dead.
check back in on you guys. Go ahead and finish up. How are we doing over here in Tornado Alley? Oh, you got a little bit of leak. We'll get that cleaned up. Somebody, let's take a look. See if we can get it working here. Let's get a funnel. All right, flip it up. Spin it. Spin it. All right, there we go. We're starting to see it now. What are you guys noticing about where the beads are? Like, are they going into the middle? What's happening?
On the sides, it's smaller, they go in the middle.
Okay, excellent. So if that was a house or a cow or a barn or, okay, same kind of thing. All right, I'll check back in. How are we doing here? You guys reviewing your glossary terms? Okay, perfect. What are we looking up here? You guys are into extreme weather. Perfect, perfect, perfect. How about over here? You guys good? Any questions on anything? All right, you're reviewing that. Make sure you take notes in your journal with this, okay? And my BCR group, how are we doing on our brief constructed response? Ooh, I see lots and lots of writing. This is good. This is a good thing. You guys have any questions? Okay, I'll check back in just a minute. All right, guys, we had a great lesson today about extreme weather, particularly about hurricanes. Some of the groups worked at the virtual labs. We did a glossary review, the interactive video, so we got a lot of content. Who wants to share with me what they learned today? Ooh, everybody. All right. Mike.
Well, today in class, I learned about the temperature of the water so the hurricane can form and the movement that it has to stay in the water to reach maximum power.
So it has to stay, the movement has to stay over the. What did you learn about the temperature, though? You said temperature with hurricanes. What type of temperature? Hot, cold?
Hot.
Hot for it to form. Everybody agree with that? Is that what we? Good, good. Okay, so tonight, when you log in, all right, assign some extra review, student center, homework's there. All right, great lesson today.
Kira, what do you have for homework today?
I have my discovery homework.
Okay.
And here are my questions and the videos I should watch to answer the questions.
Great. Well, let me know when you're done and I'll come check it.
Okay. We're learning about erosion by water. The Grand Canyon is one of the most breathtaking places in the world. Many landforms result from the weathering and erosion of Earth's surface by water. Following water also creates landforms by depositing eroded material. Although weathering and erosion are related processes, they are different. Weathering is the physical